Florida, famed for its stunning beaches, massive theme parks, and year-round tropical sunshine. From the glamour of Miami to the thrilling attractions of Orlando, almost every corner of the state boasts something special to draw in visitors from around the world. Yet, behind the glitz and allure lies a sobering reality often overlooked: homelessness. Ironically, cities like Miami and Fort Lauderdale, known worldwide for their luxury beaches and high-end shopping districts, are also home to thousands who struggle to survive without stable housing. As of now, Florida's population stands at around 21.3 million residents, and that number is projected to grow to over 27 million by 2045, a leap of more than 30% since 2018. Alongside this growth, approximately 31,462 people experience homelessness on any given night in Florida. A significant portion of this increase stems from families who lost their homes due to hurricanes since 2016. The cost of housing has become a severe burden, with many residents spending 50% or more of their gross income just to keep a roof over their heads.
Raise the price of living. What do you expect society to do? Everybody's trying to live.
This housing cost burden is a widespread challenge across the state, especially for nearly 2/3, or around 64%, of low to moderate income renters who struggle with high or severe rent burdens. Today, let's take a closer look at the Florida cities with the highest rates of homelessness. First, there's Tallahassee. Since early 2023, the city has relocated over 650 homeless individuals out of Leon County through a specialized program called the HOST Team. This initiative aims to support those experiencing homelessness by reuniting them with family members, connecting them with job opportunities, securing medical care, or helping them escape dangerous situations like domestic violence or human trafficking. According to data from the Big Bend Continuum of Care, the number of homeless individuals in Tallahassee has continued to rise, especially among children, veterans, and people with disabilities. This increase has largely been driven by rising rental rates, which have pushed many residents out of stable housing in northern Florida. This year alone, the number of homeless households in Leon County grew from 664 to 691, with a notable increase of 7 individuals aged 25 and older. Additionally, homelessness among veterans saw a sharp rise, jumping from 92 individuals last year to 112 this year. Many of these veterans are left to sleep in cars, shelters, or even on sidewalks, highlighting the urgent need to address homelessness in the area. As Florida's westernmost city, Pensacola offers beaches that provide a serene escape from bustling urban life. But beneath the scenic views, homelessness remains a pressing issue. Local government, county officials, and community groups have united to tackle this crisis, aiming for an ambitious goal to reduce homelessness by 25% by 2025. During the most recent count in late January, Escambia and Santa Rosa counties recorded 1,123 homeless individuals, a slight decrease from the 1,180 reported the previous year. However, there has been a troubling rise in chronic homelessness, defined as those without stable housing for a year or more, with numbers increasing from 234 to 365. On a positive note, the number of homeless veterans has decreased from 134 to 123. Yet, youth homelessness remains a concern, as the number of homeless individuals under the age of 18 has grown from 88 to 96. Hundreds of miles from Pensacola, Sarasota faces similar challenges. In 2023, local partnerships documented approximately 1,150 homeless residents, a slight increase from 1,138 the year before. This population is predominantly white males, with 205 individuals reporting substance abuse issues, 231 struggling with mental health concerns, and 166 veterans living with disabilities. Rather than constructing large shelters, Sarasota's city commissioners have chosen a more personalized approach, prioritizing permanent, subsidized housing solutions for the homeless. In these new living spaces, residents can access a range of supportive services, including counseling, rehabilitation programs, and job training. Additionally, the city has been advised to provide expanded services in temporary shelters, offering immediate assistance to those awaiting permanent housing options. Tampa, known as Cigar City, is one of Florida's major urban centers located in Hillsborough County. Skyrocketing housing prices have contributed to a rise in homelessness throughout the area. According to the Tampa Hillsborough Homeless Initiative, this year's count recorded 1,513 homeless individuals, a slight uptick from the 1,452 counted in 2020, the last count before the COVID-19 pandemic. The count was conducted on February 24th with the assistance of more than 120 volunteers who canvassed the county. Since 2018, the number of residents aged 62 and older needing homeless services has surged by 67%. Additionally, family homelessness has grown by 21%, with numbers rising from 379 to 458, underscoring the complex and evolving nature of homelessness in Tampa. Heading south, West Palm Beach has recently completed a project aimed at supporting its homeless population by transitioning 40 long-term homeless individuals from the streets into stable, permanent housing. West Palm Beach Police Chief Frank Adderley noted that local officers enforce regulations by removing individuals obstructing sidewalks or occupying public parks, with violators subject to penalties. According to Apartments.com, the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment in West Palm Beach is around $2,034, a staggering 31% above the national average, making it one of the most expensive cities in the United States. Many homeless individuals are drawn to West Palm Beach due to its warm climate, available services, public spaces, and overall sense of security. Unfortunately, the city's high housing costs, coupled with Florida's rising rates of opioid and heroin use, have only worsened the homelessness crisis in this area. In Jacksonville, unlike other cities, the primary drivers of homelessness are not solely high rent or housing shortages. Instead, a lack of adequate federal funding during the peak of the pandemic left many residents unable to remain in their homes. The situation has been exacerbated by wages that lag behind the rising costs of living, putting even more people at risk of homelessness. According to the annual point-in-time count conducted by Changing Homelessness, approximately 1,247 individuals were homeless in the Jacksonville area as of January 2023. Jacksonville is currently developing a 5-year plan to expand shelter capacity and provide quicker support to those experiencing homelessness. Key initiatives include increasing shelter admissions, adding more beds, and securing hotel rooms as alternative housing. To improve coordination, the city also plans to establish a shared database accessible to shelters and law enforcement, allowing for streamlined support and tracking. Additionally, Jacksonville aims to contract with local hotels to reserve up to 100 rooms, each accommodating 2 people, to rapidly expand temporary shelter options. Known as the cruise capital of the world, Fort Lauderdale is a city of luxury and leisure. However, despite its affluent reputation, an estimated 1,500 to 1,700 people live unsheltered on the streets of Broward County, while an additional 600 reside in shelters. Last year, Fort Lauderdale and Broward County were highlighted as having some of the highest rates of homelessness in predominantly suburban areas. This figure includes a broad demographic, from veterans to those experiencing chronic homelessness. The area has the third largest chronic homeless population in its category, with approximately 856 people facing long-term homelessness. Fort Lauderdale and Broward County also rank 5th nationwide for homeless veterans, with around 220 veterans living without permanent shelter. In St. Petersburg, economic hardship stands as the primary driver behind homelessness, closely followed by substance addiction. Over 37% of surveyed individuals cite financial difficulties as the main cause of their homelessness, while only 7.3% attribute it directly to substance abuse. A recent report revealed that, on a single night in January, approximately 2,110 people were experiencing homelessness across Pinellas County. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of St. Petersburg's homelessness crisis is the impact on children. Data from Pinellas County Schools indicates that between August 2023 and January 2024, a staggering 3,555 children experienced homelessness, with 57% of them aged between 6 and 12 years old. Even more striking is the racial disparity. Nearly 50% of these homeless children are Black or African American, despite Black students only making up 19% of the district's total student population.
Have lunch at either St. Vincent de Paul or no lunch.
Second on the list is Orlando, where homelessness in Central Florida has surged by 5% over the past year, primarily due to soaring rent prices. The average monthly rent now exceeds $1,700, with rents in Orlando climbing nearly 40% since 2019. For those on low incomes, stagnant wages combined with relentless inflation make it increasingly difficult to afford basic housing and keep up with the region's rising cost of living. Of the total homeless population recorded, 56.4% reside in Orange County, 31% in Osceola County, and 12.6% in Seminole County. During a 3-day count led by the Homeless Services Network, along with local partners and volunteers, officials documented 2,258 homeless individuals. This count includes those in shelters and transitional housing, as well as 587 unsheltered individuals living outdoors without protection. Famous for its Art Deco district in South Beach, vibrant international cuisine, and high-profile events like Art Basel and the Miami Open, Miami is a city of cultural wealth. Yet, it also holds the unfortunate distinction of having the largest homeless population in Florida. With 3,657 homeless individuals, Miami's homeless population has grown by 3% over the past 3 years, equating to roughly 8.1 homeless people per 1,000 residents. The city's high living costs, making it one of the most expensive places to live in the United States, only intensify this issue. In response, Miami Beach recently enacted a ban on outdoor sleeping, requiring those without homes to seek out available shelters, sometimes under compulsion. While the city has allocated $3.1 million in federal funding to expand shelter beds, job training, and mental health care, Miami faces significant challenges in providing adequate support for its homeless population. This challenge is exacerbated by ongoing funding gaps and a shortage of adequately trained staff to meet the demands at local shelters.
Housing first. It's the most effective at reducing homeless recidivism, regardless of the underlying causes of that person's homelessness, and it's also the least expensive. So again, whether somebody has mental illness or substance use or not, getting them into housing first and then addressing those issues is the way to go.